It's strange, the things that tip your balance. For me, it was a toaster. Not a breakup. Not a medical emergency. Not a rejected pitch or a family betrayal. Just a toaster. $39.99, stainless steel, 2-slot, advertised with the kind of absurd confidence only appliance copywriters can muster. Precision browning technology. I'd been freelancing as a graphic designer for nearly 6 years, the kind of quiet hustle that doesn't impress anyone at parties but keeps the bills paid. My apartment was tidy. My taxes were filed. I used reusable grocery bags. If someone needed a favor, I said yes. If a client ghosted me, I sent one polite follow-up, then let it go. I didn't start fights. I played by the rules. The kind of person people call reasonable until it's time to stand beside you. That morning I toasted a bagel. Or tried to. The toaster sparked on its second use, an angry, snapping sound like a bug zapper in a thunderstorm. Then a black puff of smoke curled from the side. I unplugged it immediately and stood there for a second, holding the plug like I was defusing a bomb. Then I packed it back into the box, receipt neatly taped to the side, and drove to the electronics chain store where I'd bought it just 2 days before. I expected this to be simple. A routine exchange. Instead, I was accused of fraud. "Ma'am," the manager said, drawing the syllables out like a yawn, "this toaster shows signs of internal tampering. We can't accept returns on damaged merchandise." I blinked. It sparked. "It's defective. It looks like you tried to alter the wiring. We've seen this kind of scam before." It was so surreal, I almost laughed. "I'm sorry, what?" "I used it once. It almost started a fire." He was already shaking his head, expression smug beneath his gelled brown hair and overly crisp name badge. Troy, store manager. The kind of guy who wears mirrored sunglasses indoors and thinks he's a shark for enforcing coupon policy. Security arrived before I could even ask for a regional manager. And then things got worse. One of the guards, the taller one, bald, sunglasses even indoors, pulled out his phone and started recording. "Hey TikTok, it's Karen o'clock," he laughed, zooming in. I wasn't yelling. I wasn't even raising my voice. But suddenly I was in a video. In it, I looked like every stereotype people love to hate. A woman standing her ground, insisting calmly but firmly that something wasn't right. The kind of calm that, to some, looks like arrogance. "Karen loses it over a toaster," the caption read. By the time I got home, humiliated and empty-handed, it had already hit 75,000 views. That night, I sat on my couch with my laptop open and my phone face down. The video was everywhere. My name wasn't tagged, but someone had found me. Maybe it was the distinctive mural on the store wall behind me. Maybe it was just the internet being terrifyingly efficient. Either way, a few Reddit threads and a Facebook group for retail hero moments had already pieced it together. Someone even commented, "She's a freelancer, I think Sarah something. Avoid hiring her." By morning, a client had dropped me. "We appreciate your past work," the email read, cold and clipped, "but we're going in a different direction." No explanation needed. I knew. I called the customer service line, holding for 42 minutes while the same 3-minute jingle looped until my ears ached. Finally, someone picked up, a woman named Lisa with the vocal tone of someone who'd been yelled at all day. "I just want to file a complaint," I said, holding my voice steady. I was refused a return for a defective product, and now I'm being publicly humiliated online. After a long pause and a few keyboard clicks, she returned with a well-rehearsed response. The manager followed store policy. "We're sorry you were unsatisfied with your experience." "That's it? That's your response? Is there anything else I can help you with today?" I hung up. Then I cried. Not loud, not dramatically. Just the quiet kind, shoulders shaking, breath catching, no sobs, just grief. I wasn't grieving the toaster. Or even the lost client. I was grieving the lie I'd lived under, that if you're polite, if you follow the rules, the world will treat you fairly. Later that night, I called Kate. Kate and I met in a sketching class 6 years ago, bonded over our mutual loathing of influencer fonts, and stayed close ever since. She's a consumer rights attorney now, the kind of person who reads legal disclaimers for fun, and once got a predatory gym membership canceled through nothing but email threats and superior punctuation. "Tell me everything," she said, voice sharp with purpose. I did. Every detail. The sparks, the smugness, the phone camera. There was a pause. "That's illegal," she said. "The toaster?" "No, the video. They used your likeness for public entertainment without your consent. Plus, if that store is denying returns on defective products, they're violating basic consumer protection laws." I felt a flicker of something I hadn't felt in days. Not anger. not sadness. Fuel. Let's burn them down, Kate said, almost gently. Kate was the kind of friend who never offered empty sympathy. Instead, she offered strategy. By the end of our call, she had a notepad covered in bullet points and arrows. First step, she said, we document. I want receipts. Literally. Your purchase receipt, date, time, location. I emailed her everything: photos of the toaster, my receipt, the timestamped TikTok video, and even screenshots of comments speculating about my identity. Some were cruel. One called me typical entitled single millennial energy. Another asked where they could find my portfolio so they could avoid hiring a lawsuit in lipstick. Kate didn't flinch. Next, she started digging. While I recovered in bed with a heating pad and a mug of bitter tea, she scoured Yelp, the Better Business Bureau, and even Reddit. Within 2 hours, she had found 15 separate complaints from that same store location, all variations on the same theme: defective returns denied, customer treated like a nuisance, and in several cases recorded, mocked, or belittled by staff. Your store manager? Troy, she asked. He's in at least 3 of these. And guess who else shows up? The security guard. Same guy. Bald, sunglasses, amateur cameraman. This is a pattern. Then we got lucky. Kate found a TikTok compilation, a freaking compilation of customer freakouts, most of them clearly filmed at that store. The username matched the same guard who had filmed me. And in the comments? A few usernames praising him by name. Haha, you got another one, Rick. So now we had a store manager, Troy, routinely denying valid returns. A security guard, Rick, filming customers without permission and posting to social media. A pattern of mockery and exploitation disguised as customer service. It was more than just bad behavior. It looked like a scheme. And then Kate had an idea. We need a mole, she said. Someone who worked there. Someone who knows what Troy's really doing. She cracked her knuckles, opened LinkedIn, and typed in the store name. Let's see who's recently left the company. It only took 20 minutes. Got one, Kate said, tapping her screen. Jason N., former assistant manager. Left 2 months ago. No new job listed. Lives in the area. Think he'll talk to us? Depends on how bitter he is. She messaged him. Kate, hi Jason. My name's Kate. I'm a consumer rights attorney looking into potentially unethical practices at store name where you worked. Hoping to speak confidentially, strictly off the record, for a potential legal brief. Let me know if you're willing to talk. He replied in 7 minutes. Jason, I've been waiting for someone to ask. You buying coffee? We met him 2 days later at a quiet, grimy coffee shop that smelled like burnt espresso and carpet cleaner. Jason was mid-30s, pale, tired, and looked like someone who had stopped believing in careers and just needed a paycheck. I'm not surprised you're here, he said, after Kate laid out the situation. That store's a scam with a break room. I stayed quiet. Let Kate do the talking. But Jason kept glancing at me. You were in that video, right? I saw it. You didn't even yell. Thanks, I muttered. That was my whole Tuesday. He rubbed his face. Troy's obsessed with numbers. Return percentages, loss prevention metrics. He realized something early: if you deny returns without escalating, you keep the sale and look like a rock star on paper. Kate leaned in. So he targets people who won't fight? Jason nodded. He calls them low-friction profiles. Usually women. Polite ones. People who'll back down if you make them feel like they're inconveniencing you. My stomach twisted. That was me. What about the guard? Rick? Jason snorted. He thinks he's some kind of social media vigilante. Troy lets him get away with it because the videos drive traffic. But the real kicker. He pulled out his phone, scrolled, and showed us a grainy photo of a register terminal. Troy uses this for cash returns. It's not logged in the main system. Only he has the key code. So if he denies a return, sometimes he processes it manually and pockets the cash. No digital record. I caught him once. That's when I quit. Kate's eyes gleamed. Do you have proof? I took pictures. Thought about going to the district office. But I didn't want to fight a corporate legal team alone. I met his eyes. You're not alone now. Jason exhaled. You get them shut down? Kate grinned. I don't play to lose. The next few weeks turned my apartment into a digital war room. Kate and I weren't just angry anymore, we were focused. We created folders, color-coded spreadsheets, timelines, evidence, testimonies, screenshots. Each piece added weight to what we were building. Not a tantrum, not a complaint, but a structured, airtight case. Jason sent over everything. Photos of the unregistered return terminal. Text from another employee saying Troy took another $40 from a toaster refund, said don't tell LP. Even a clip of Rick bragging at a staff party. Deny enough returns and they start giving you plaques. Kate nearly spat out her drink. We filed FOIA requests, combed the company's own return policy, and started reaching out to victims. Kate had this down to a science. She would reach out gently, let people tell their stories, then ask if they'd be willing to add a statement. To our surprise, almost all of them said yes. I thought it was just me, one woman said. I felt crazy for months, said another. We compiled 23 customer testimonies, 14 policy violations, 6 TikTok videos, 1 leaked employee memo suggesting Troy encouraged firm denial strategy, and then the crown jewel. A former cashier emailed us saying she once helped process a return through the ghost terminal. When she asked Troy why it wasn't showing up on the books, he said, "Don't worry about it, this one's off-grid." She added, "I kept the receipt. Thought it was sketchy." She scanned and sent it to us. It didn't match any recorded transaction on the store's public books. Now we had return policy abuse, digital exploitation of customers, targeted psychological manipulation, and what looked very much like tax fraud. "We're ready," Kate said one night, sitting cross-legged on my living room rug, laptop open, eyes gleaming. "Ready for what?" I asked. "To make some very important people very uncomfortable." The next step was surgical. Kate packaged our case into 3 tailored dossiers. One went to the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, focused on deceptive business practices, unlawful denial of returns, and digital privacy violations via unauthorized recordings. One went to the Internal Revenue Service, IRS, highlighting suspicious cash handling, off-book returns, and a potential pattern of tax evasion tied to Troy's unlogged transactions. And one went to the local consumer protection news outlet, a station known for their call for action segments. We didn't just send an email. We sent a story, dates, names, victims, receipts, even a side-by-side of the company's return policy versus what was actually happening. Kate titled the file, Toastergate, How a $39.99 Appliance Exposed Corporate Fraud. And then we waited. The first to bite was the news outlet. A reporter named Shannon called me personally. "I saw the TikTok," she said, not unkindly. "You handled yourself with restraint. That's rare in these stories." She wanted an interview. I hesitated. "I don't want to be famous," I said. "I just want this to stop happening. We can blur your face, change your name on screen. You'll just BS. But your voice matters. Especially with everything else you've uncovered." I agreed. The segment aired 3 nights later, edited respectfully with emphasis on the pattern, not the viral moment. The headline was strong. Local store accused of targeting customers, pocketing refunds. By noon the next day, the video had over 500,000 views. And then came the audit. The audit hit like a thunderclap. It started with whispers. Someone posted to the company subreddit that a compliance team had arrived unannounced at our local store. 5 people in suits, no name tags, clipboards in hand. By lunchtime, a Redditor snapped a photo. Troy standing outside, arms crossed, while 2 of the suits examined the returns desk. In the background, Rick the security guard, not filming but being filmed. By 3 p.m., the store closed for inventory restructuring. A paper sign taped to the door read, "Closed until further notice due to internal compliance review." I got the update via Kate, who burst into my apartment without knocking, holding her phone in the air. "Guess who's trending now?" She showed me the clip. A news segment replaying Shannon's story, followed by footage of employees leaving the store with boxes. One was crying. Rick was not. "He deleted his TikTok account," Kate said, almost too casually. "And Troy scrubbed his LinkedIn." I stared at the screen. For a moment I didn't feel anything. Just a vast, eerie quiet inside me, like my brain had pulled the emergency brake and was waiting for the dust to settle. Then I laughed. Softly at first, then with a deep shaking sound that startled me. "Is this what winning feels like?" I asked. Kate grinned. "No. This is just the warm-up." Over the next few weeks, the fallout unfolded quietly, but precisely. The store never reopened. The company released a vague press statement. We are restructuring local operations to better serve our community. Customers with pending issues may contact corporate support. But the truth leaked anyway. An anonymous employee, likely Jason, posted on Reddit that Troy had been terminated, and Rick had been let go for misuse of company resources, which is corporate for you humiliated people on camera for likes, you idiot. Even better? Several former customers received quiet emails offering gift cards or full refunds. One even messaged me directly. Hey, I saw your story. They gave me $150 and an apology. Whatever you did. Thank you. I didn't respond. I just sat with it. Let the silence wrap around me like armor. I didn't go viral again. I didn't give another interview. I didn't sue or scream or torch the internet. I just won. Kate and I toasted one night, cheap wine, mismatched mugs, both of us barefoot in my kitchen. You didn't break, she said. You bent. Then turned into a damn sword. I smiled. You're mixing metaphors. I'm mixing wine. Shut up. Life didn't magically transform after that. My freelance work didn't double overnight. The video still existed in digital memory, buried beneath newer scandals and louder voices. But something had shifted. A few weeks after the audit, a former client who had ghosted me emailed an apology. Hey Sarah, I realize now what happened wasn't what it looked like. If you're open to it, I'd love to work together again. I declined. Politely. I wasn't angry anymore. I just wasn't interested in working with people who folded the minute things got messy. Jason, our whistleblower, emailed Kate to say he'd finally landed a job at a different retail chain. One that didn't base promotions on how many customers you could intimidate. Rick? Well, someone spotted him working private security at a strip mall. No camera. No TikTok. As for Troy, his name popped up on a business formation registry. He tried to start his own consulting firm, Troy Tech Retail Advisors. It never got off the ground. The universe had a funny way of balancing the books. And me? I got a new toaster. Different brand. Different store. It toasts bagels like a dream. It took me months to fully unclench. To walk into a store without scanning for a phone camera. To pitch a client without wondering if they'd seen that video. To trust that I wasn't one spark away from humiliation again. But I did. Because I didn't just survive the fallout, I redirected it. The truth? I'm still not loud. I still don't scream or stomp or go viral on purpose. I still play by the rules. But I've learned the difference between being polite and being silent. There's power in persistence. In the unglamorous, invisible kind of justice that doesn't make headlines but changes everything anyway. I never filed a lawsuit. I never raised my voice. I never demanded a crowd. I just gave the truth to the right people and watched it do the rest.